my dears, and welcome to my channel. On my journey to getting published and sharing my work with my readers and going to author signings and all that good stuff, I have met so many people who are also on this journey to getting published and making their own manga and comics. And I get the same question over and over and over again because it's a real dilemma. How can you draw quickly and meet deadlines? Because let's face it, there's only one of two things that can happen. You either rush your work and it comes out really crappy, or you take your time and it comes out beautiful, but you're not getting enough work done on time and you don't meet deadlines. So today we're going to be talking about this very important issue. So please be sure to watch this video from beginning to end, guys, because I promise you, you will get some really good information from this video. I'm convinced it will help you. Just give it a chance, really watch it, take notes if you need to, and if you want more information on how to write scripts, how to plan out your pages and get published, please check out my How to Make Manga playlist and my publishing playlist down there in the description box below, guys. So without further ado, let's get started. So first I want to tackle techniques for drawing faster, and then later on in the video I wanted to focus more on how to meet deadlines. So let's get started with how to draw faster. Number 1, look at your character designs and how you're drawing and how much detail you're putting into each panel, and think to yourself, is there room for simplification? Now, I'm not saying just get rid of all the details and all the beautiful, lush gorgeousness that you're putting into your art. Absolutely not. But there is something to be said about simplifying key parts of your illustration so that you can focus on more important parts of your illustration. Look at your characters and think to yourself, did I put way too much into this character's designs? Did I get a little too ambitious with their designs, and should I tone it down just a little bit? And should I save like the really detailed shots for very important moments in the story, or close-up shots of the characters? Of course, this varies from person to person. Maybe this is not the route that you want to take, but it is definitely something to think about. Is drawing too detailed making it very difficult for you to keep the characters consistent, and is it taking away too much precious time every time you are drawing a page? Is it too exhausting for you to repeat these same details over and over again? Really think about this and wonder if there's space for a little tiny bit of simplification. Oh my baby, you want to get picked up? Number 2, if you want to keep your work really detailed, you're going to have to compromise a little bit. You're going to have to think to yourself, what can I simplify, just like I said in number 1, but what needs to remain super detailed? Now, a really good example of this is a character from my own published series, Sacred. I have a sorceress character, which many of you know and really appreciate, so thank you so much, guys. She wears very long gowns, very detailed corsets, and has long flowing hair. I decided that one of her most important traits was her long hair. So I decided that whenever I drew her, I was going to focus almost all of my energy into her face, of course, and into her hair. But when it came down to her clothing, I knew that I would never be able to meet my deadlines if I made her dress as intricate and detailed as I actually envisioned it in my head. So I decided to compromise, and I made her dress a lot more simple. I didn't put any beading on it the way I wanted to, or any embroidery on it the way that I envisioned. I focused more on the folds of her dress. And then when it came to her corset, I kept the detail down to, I want to say from 1 to 10 in terms of difficulty. I kept it down to a 5 to allow me to really put most of the detail into her hair, which in itself, it's a hardcore task. So when you need to meet a deadline, you need to make the decision. What is most important? What needs to remain detailed, and what can I simplify? Number 3, drawing slowly may mean that you're drawing things you're not very familiar with, and maybe it's time for some reference. Having real photographic reference takes out all the guesswork, making a drawing a lot easier for you. So if you need to draw a temple, if you need to draw a building, some type of tree, flowers, animals, even expressions, having photographic reference there with you will take away the guesswork. You draw what you see, you alter it to fit your style, simplify it if you need to, but you don't have to guess, you don't need to struggle, you don't need to keep erasing, and this will save you a ton of time. So if you don't know how to draw from memory, or it's taking you too long to draw from memory, get some photographic reference. Google has plenty. There are reference books available in bookstores, and if you have a cell phone, just take some pictures of yourself, your friends, clothing, or go out into the city and take photographs of like trees from the park or buildings. The whole world is your reference, okay? So go take some pictures. Next up, the more you practice, the faster you will draw. So practicing doesn't mean just drawing the same thing over and over and over again. Practicing, truly studying your craft means figuring out what is difficult for you and focusing on that a little bit every day. Really practice the things that you find difficult, be it anatomy, perspective, proportions, whatever it is, shading. Just make sure to practice it and really focus some good quality study and practice time every single day. Even if it's just for 10 minutes each day. You do that every day for a month or for a year, you're going to see really good results. And of course, try not to spend more than a half hour practicing each day because you could burn yourself out. You want quality study time every day, you know what I mean? So be sure to give yourself that good quality practicing every day so that you can begin to slowly see better results and begin to draw faster. Now let's move on to time management and how to meet deadlines. Number 1, you need to have realistic expectations for yourself. You cannot expect to get 5 or 10 pages done in one day. Sometimes you can't even get the pencil line art done in the first day. You have to give yourself some realistic goals. If you want to do this full time or even as a hobby, you need to think to yourself, how many pages do I want to get done per week? For myself, as someone who does this full time, I usually try to get 1 full page done each day. However, I also understand that some pages get done really quickly, while other pages, they could take me a while because some pages are just so freaking detailed that the only option I have is to do as much as I can on 1 page and then move on to another page. A great example of what I'm talking about is this page right here from my published series Sacred from Volume 4. This took me about 7 or 8 days to finish, and the reason for that is I would work a little bit on this page and then move on to another page that was a lot less intricate because I needed to create 1 page per day. That was my quota. So I wouldn't focus completely on this page. I would move on to an easier page like this one that only took me about an hour or so to complete because it's just 1 character, some speed lines, and a black background. So I would work a little bit on this one and then finish off an easier page like this one. And working that way allowed me to keep a good schedule, meet my deadlines, and still get on average 1 page done per day. Planning, girl. Okay, far too many of you guys just draw pages without planning them out first or planning out the entire chapter first. If you guys saw video 1 from my How to Make Manga series, I talk all about the importance of writing out your chapters first and then planning out your pages. And I emphasize that if you do not have a certain amount of chapters already written out, already ready to go, then do not start your pages. Otherwise, when your book gets printed, it's gonna go crazy. Please watch that video to learn more because it's just a lot of information that you need to know. But keep in mind that the technique I just talked about jumping from page to page so that you can get work done, cannot happen unless you've planned out all of your pages. And that's another thing. You can save a lot of time and mess up a lot less if you plan out your pages ahead of time. This will allow you to work very confidently. You know what's coming next. You don't have to stop and be like, okay, I just finished the page. What do I want to happen next? What do I want the page to look like? How do I want it to go? No. If you have your scripts done already and you have your pages already sketched out and planned, all you gotta do is just draw and enjoy the journey. And this is an issue that a few of you have brought up to me really recently, where you were hired by a writer to draw out their comics. Now, a few of you have been very concerned because the writers don't quite understand why you're taking so long to draw out their pages. And something that I try to emphasize to a lot of you guys who are just getting started is to have good communication with the people who hire you and let them understand that you cannot push pages out like a copy machine, that it does take a bit more time, and you may need to work with them on some type of a timeline to kind of be like, okay, I can finish half a page a day, I can finish 1 page a day, maybe, but we need to work together. Like, really have good communication with them. And if their characters happen to be really detailed, like I had mentioned before, you may need to talk to them about maybe simplifying aspects of the character designs to make it easier for you to draw. Really have good communication with anyone who hires you, including a publishing house that they hire you or a writer who hired you to draw for their work. It's especially difficult when you're creating comics for people because you're dealing with panels and layouts and scripts and everything. It is hard. It's not easy, okay? Dealing with someone else's creation. But you need to have good communication with them and let them understand that you are here to create quality and understand that the artistic process takes time. Just like it took them time to write the story, it will take you time to illustrate it, but you can both work together to create a good timeline that works for the two of you. Also, please check out my fiance's art channel. He's super talented and I know you guys will love his tutorials. The link to his channel is in the description box below. I hope this video was super useful for you guys. Please give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on more videos like this. So until next time guys, please take care, God bless, and do not be afraid to nerd out. Take care guys!